Hey everybody, this is Adventure Vin. This is my alternator to a 2001 Ford Taurus, dual overhead cam, 24, I believe. Anyways, let me get into this really quick. I'm going to pass the camera off to my wife. This is actually the one I just picked up. The one I took off the vehicle, I corded out to Napa, but this is the one I'm going to install. But I want to talk about a few nuances of removing it. The first thing I'm going to say is, well, first of all, this is the third attempt at this. The reason why we're inside is because it's like 150 degrees out in Southern California right now. It's crazy hot. The sound, it wasn't picking up my voice. I will show you some shots of the car in a moment. But I really wanted to get this out to you guys because I recommend that you watch multiple videos covering the 2001 Ford Taurus, because everyone has a little bit of a different approach, and I kind of incorporated all of them, but there's some things I found out that I didn't see on any other video. So first of all, the orientation of the alternator sits like this. So if you can imagine, this is the passenger side of your vehicle. This is the one that sits a little bit lower, not the one that's on top, because there's a different version. This is the harder one to get to. This bolt here is accessible from the hood area. This one you're gonna have to come from underneath, as also of this one. The thing about it, I'm going to recommend that you just break this one loose, but leave it in. By doing that, it's going to make these two easier to manipulate. Now, one thing, as this sits in the car, the fender, the right side passenger side fender is like right here. There's like no room to get a good socket or socket wrench in there. Some people use a pass-through socket, which is a socket very similar to my Craftsman wrench here, where there's a drive socket, and they will move it over, they'll slip it over, and they'll go over it. I did not have an 18 in that configuration. Other people will use some deep sockets. What I ended up using was an 18 deep socket, and what this allowed me to do is it was enough, I would say, from the fender well to the clearance was right there. There was no further room, so I was able to come across, grab it. And this piece here, I'm going to show you in a second, that's just a little adapter that you're able to grab with a 9/16 wrench. So I was able to come in like this, and if you can imagine that this is the fender, I was able to come in like this, so I wasn't obstructed, and I was able to crack it loose. Give it about 2 turns, and you could do the rest of it finger tight. Once you're off, remove it. You could just finger tight it out. This part is threaded into the engine block. This is one solid piece. That thing's not going anywhere. I have no idea what the purpose of all these threads are here, but I'm no mechanic. I'm just learning as I'm going. So this one came out fine. When I went to this one, you're gonna have to come from below. And what this one is a 13. You have to come up here with a 13 and break it loose from underneath the vehicle. So you're coming from underneath, you're gonna hit a 13 on this. You might see some variance in sizes. I'm not kidding. I've seen different dimensions on these bolts from different videos, so if it's not yours isn't a 13, don't blame me. But once you crack this off, what I didn't see on other videos was once this piece comes off, give me a second, once this piece is totally off, there is another bolt that remains in there, and I didn't realize that. I didn't see it on the other videos. The purpose of this one is, as this is cinched down, there's that little cylinder torpedo looking black thing that you've seen in other videos. I will show you when I walk outside. Sits right here. There's a little fin bracket that stabilizes right here on this. So as this gets cinched down, you're actually stabilizing that little fin bracket to that black looking torpedo. People say it's power steering. I don't know what it is. But once that's off, move the bracket above it, and then crack this one come in with your 18 again. Come in with your 18. And you don't need a socket. This one will work fine, and just work it. You're gonna have to be a little patient on this one. Work this one loose. The thing I encountered with this is once I able to get it loose, there's no room for me to come all the way out. There's just no room. So what's important to know, you'll be very frustrated if you get this back in, the brand new one, and then decide to put this in. What you're gonna have to do once this is loose, and you remove this one, which is I'll get to in a second. Those two are out. Leave this one in, but off. Make sure it's out of the engine block, and then just let it start falling naturally. But when you have to install it, you're gonna have to put this in loosely ahead of time to shimmy it up there. There's no way this is gonna be sitting on the engine block next to the fender and you're going to be able to run this bolt in there. It's not going to happen. So keep that in mind. So we removed this one. I showed you how to do that with, the other option you can have is if you still have this one in and you don't have that little adapter. This is the adapter I had in the other one. And what was driving that adapter, I think, was a 9/16. Was a 9/16. Oh, here it is. This is what I was using, was a 9/16 open-end wrench. That was grabbing that, and that was seated into the regular socket. But if you don't, one other option you can have is your 18 millimeter spark plug wrench. Now, as you notice, the spark plug wrench has is like a nut on top. How that works, opposed to the regular socket, it's all smooth. So your spark plug wrench will sit right in there. You can grab it with either a knuckle buster or adjustable open-end wrench. Like I said, you're going to give it like 2 turns until you break that seal. I think I ended up using this really weird numbered, where's my Craftsman? A 13/16. 13/16. That might also be an equivalent into metric, I don't know. But 13/16 covers it just fine. So those are 2 options that you can use. So this one's out. We took off that 13 millimeter head. 13 millimeter, we took that off with a 13. We hit this with the 18, and now this is loose. You're gonna come in here, and on this one is the easiest. This is a no-brainer. I'm gonna show you when I go outside where it's at. This is a, give me a quick second. Too many numbers to remember, and my eyes are bad. This is a 13 again. This is also 13. Interesting. Yep, both 13. So this one you can hit with the 13. Come right here with your socket and it busts. This is very, very visible behind your cylinder or your brake. Your disc brake, very, very visible. Easy as pie. Turn that a few times and they'll come right out. Once it's out, it's gonna start jiggling, right? And then just manipulate it a little bit. Kind of let gravity help you out as it starts coming down. Now, 2 things is that when it gets further down, you're going to see 2 electrical connections. This one here, I don't remember the exact dimensions. I want to say it was a 10 millimeter. I was able to pop that off with a 10 millimeter socket. And then this one here is one of those electric connectors. It does have a tang on it, like it wants to be pressure to pinch it to pull out, but mine just slid in and out. It wasn't that hard. It wasn't like one of those really, really difficult ones. So there are 2 electrical connections there that you will see, but wait till it drops down, and then you're gonna have to let it fall towards you, disconnect all the electrical part, and then just kind of wiggle it. It is tedious, it is monotonous. There are some people that had removed one of the other pulley wheels and a shield in there. I'll show you that in a second. But I didn't have to do that. I'm gonna go outside in a second, but let me talk safety really quick. Before you do this job, make sure that your vehicle is on a flat level surface. Your e-brake is on, and you're either in park or you have it in gear if it's a manual transmission. You're not going to find that in a Taurus, but generally speaking. Also disconnect both leads off your batteries because you're going to be manipulating some electrical stuff. Also recommend for personal safety, when I was underneath, I had to look up into the engine compartment to get to this one, or to one, because one of them you're going to get from the hood, another one you're going to get from underneath looking up into it, and this one you're going to get to simply looking lateral past your brake. But when I was working on this one, your eyes are exposed to any debris that may fall. So if you're not wearing glasses or sunglasses, get yourself a pair of safety glasses. Also, a pair of gloves just to keep it safe. This, I just want to let you know how much I paid for it. So we're in July of 2020. Happy COVID to everybody. July 2020, I actually ended up getting this, turning in the core at Napa Auto Parts. I walked out the door paying $173 out the door, July 2020. And what that included is if you have AAA or military, they'll take, I'm retired military, but if you're active duty, retired, guard, reserve, veteran status, they will give you an additional discount. Or if you have AAA Automobile Club, they'll give you an additional discount. So that $173 was my out the door price after the core was exchanged for $82. And then the military discount came in, and then I got this nifty hat for $1. So at the time they were doing a promo where if you spend $25, if you donate $1 more, you get this really cool hat. So I kind of liked it. So Napa took care of me. Just wanted to mention that. So we're inside because it's cool. you guys can hear me. I wanted to show you some of the nuances of the bolt pattern and how to take those things out. I think this is the one I did not see, is that leave it in there loosely. But I'm gonna have my wife pause it real quick, and I'm gonna show you some of these things I was talking about on the car outside. So go ahead and pause it right now. Okay, so we're outside. So this is the vehicle I'm working on, 2001 Ford Taurus. Here's some of the, one thing I was gonna mention also, I do have a pulley or a serpentine tool that hooks up to the tensioner pulley that pop these off. But I recommend you getting one. But this was able, actually, I was able to manipulate this off just with finger. I just rolled it right off and it came right off. So I didn't have to use my pulley tool to get that off. I just used my hands. But when I reattach everything, I'm definitely going to use the my serpentine tool on the tensioner pulley to get that back on. Now that torpedo looking thing, I'm not sure if it's power steering or what. It's this black thing right here. So right here where my finger's at, I can barely reach it. That's where that one bolt is, where it sits into the engine block, where you're gonna have to leave it in the alternator to mount it. This is the hard part of this vehicle, is that it's down deep in. The other bolt rides, no, I think that's the forward one. The rear one is back more. It's actually more understandable from looking from underneath. So this is another thing too. People were pulling off this fender splash guard. I didn't have to. I just pulled off the front one. And then what some people end up doing is removing this one with an impact wrench. They remove this for more clearance. I didn't have to. I was able to get it off. This too. Some people are removing this thing here. I didn't have to remove that. I didn't remove anything actually, other than the splash guard. This is the one part. This is actually plugged in. You'll see this immediately. This is hooked up to this. This is not part of the alternator itself, but unplug that because it's kind of in the way, and just tuck it away. The other one is right here. That's going to go onto the alternator, and then the one that was on that 10mm bolt is right there. So that and this connect to the alternator. The alternator is going to have to be shimmied up. I don't know if I can get the camera in there. The alternator is going to have to be shimmied up. I can't see what you're looking at. It's impossible. But the alternator is going to go up in that compartment. And that's really about it, everybody. It's just trial and error. I just used that. The only thing why I have that out is to take off the fender. Well, I did use these. I just happened to have these. These are really nice to pop off some of those snaps from the plastic. And that's about it. I use that when I'm underneath looking up into the compartment. But I hope, oh, one thing I was gonna tell you is that bottom one I said do last. That one lines up. Here's the engine block hole right there. That's where it's gonna go into the engine block, and it lines straight up. So it's easy. It's just sitting right here, and you just boop and remove that. And then the other one, the hardest one probably is that one that's towards the rear. I know it's kind of hard to explain. Well, like I said, everybody, watch other videos besides mine, gather some more information, get all your tools in line. I was able to do it by myself. I didn't have anybody helping me, and I'm no mechanic. The install, I'm sure, is going to be more frustrating. I won't do a video on that because that's going to take forever. But good luck with it. I hope this video helped you out on realizing some things that you might not have known or seen before. I wish I could show you where the other hookup is, but it's really weird to see it from this angle now that the whole thing's out. Kind of wish I would have taken a picture. All right, goodbye everybody. Take care. I hope this was informative. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Take care. Have a good day. Bye.